And so who's flying these crafts? Like, do you know the different ETs that?
Well, number one, it's not always ETs. There could be human
Okay.
beings that fly them, but they're human beings that went through extensive training and can possess a very high level of awareness to be able to do that.
Okay, so anybody could theoretically fly one if they were trained?
Just like anybody could theoretically levitate, but how many people access that? Yeah, the answer is yes.
Okay, cool.
But it's based on the individual and their potential of what they're willing to access and what they're willing to do in order to access it.
Can you levitate?
No.
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 It
I know individuals that can.
And was that something you, going back to experience, was that something that you, once you saw it, you were like, oh, I see it's possible?
I'm not at liberty to speak about exactly what I've seen and what I haven't. So you're going to have to bear with me on that one. That's one of my instructions.
Okay. All right. Okay. So it's not always ETs that are flying UFOs. Could be some trained humans.
Correct. There are generally ETs on the crafts with them.
Okay.
But yeah, it could be humans. For the most part, it's extraterrestrial life.
All right. And so I think it's great that we established, and because I'm on the same page, that a disclosure event could be framed as positive or negative, and that there's, potentially all these great benefits, technology, interacting with other races and cultures, like potentially lots to learn. But then you could also spin it as like, they're going to invade Earth and we have to defend ourselves. And
well, ask yourself a simple question. If they were going to invade, why haven't they? And have you ever asked yourself who put the invasion idea in your mind in the first place? Where'd you see that? Where'd you
Hollywood.
get that? Where?
Movies.
Who's creating those movies?
I've heard that many of them are funded by different aspects of the military.
Okay. And do you believe that there could be an agenda to make us want to believe a reality that's never happened here on Earth?
Sure.
And that's my answer. We've never seen an invasion. Yet you think about extraterrestrial, you think invasion. What a joke that is. It's crazy. They made us associate something with something else that's never happened.
At least in our history that we know of. Could have happened. Long time
For sure,
ago,
but based on the individuals that we see around the world with the perpetration of fear, you would think that if it happened in history, they would highlight it.
Yeah. So what?
An invasion, that doesn't mean they haven't been here. They've been here for a very long time. This isn't anything new, but I'm talking about an invasion coming here to rule us, enslave us, kill us, drink our blood, whatever the hell everybody else says. I don't buy it. Not only I don't buy it, I would say I know that to be false, but I don't want to speak that way because what does that really mean?
Yeah, well, I think it's good to, whatever the U.S. military releases in their documentation, it's good to sort of, even before that comes out, sort of set a marker and say, hey, you can compare what we're talking about today in this podcast with that evidence, and you can sort of see for yourself which one seems more accurate to you.
Sure. I would also say when dealing with things like this, not enough people use their heart anymore. Not enough people use their heart. And when I'm not saying don't use the mind. I'm a big mind person. But if you only use the mind, you can be deceived many, many times. If you only, are you good?
Excuse me.
No worries.
All right, thank you.
So if you only use the mind, physical proof can come out and you can refuse to believe it, which happens always. People always say we want evidence, we want proof. Well, what does that really mean? What does that mean? What do you mean evidence and proof? Okay, is a picture enough? Some say yes, some say no. Is a video enough? Some say yes, some say no. Is a physical experience enough? Some say yes and some say no, believe it or not, even if it happens to them. Because if you don't want to believe something, there will always be a way to say it's not true. And that's our freedom of choice of what do we want to do? How do we want to deal with it? And how willing are we to let our belief systems dissolve and rebuild? And it's difficult for many people, you know, to let go of their foundational aspects of what they think to be themselves. So I understand, I really do. That's why I never get upset with individuals who call me crazy or whatever it is, because if they didn't call me crazy, they would have to accept that their entire life may have been a lie. And that's not easy to do. It's easier to tell the person you're crazy than it is to accept that maybe what I thought was wrong. And that's a check that I do on myself every day, by the way. And there are sometimes where I change my mind. You know, there are sometimes where I say, you know, I was wrong. I was wrong. Let's move forward. Let's keep going. It's all good. We're humans.
Was there some beliefs that you had to dissolve for yourself?
Yeah, the reptilian agenda. I believe that to be real. I believed everything that everybody else in that community believes of. There's a different race here hurting us, enslaving us, and suppressing us. There is a race here hurting us, suppressing us, and controlling us, but they're not of a different race. They're called human beings, and they act through the reptilian part of their brain. It's called the hindbrain. That doesn't make them not human beings. It just makes them human beings acting out of a different level of awareness and a different level of consciousness. So that was difficult for me because I came from a community that believed that to be absolutely true. And then when it came to things like TLS, they said, no, that's not true. There are individuals doing those things, and they do act out of certain portions of their brain, but the reptilian race is not the reptilian race as everybody explains them to be. It's not a race that comes here from a different planet, that comes here to drink your blood. You know, it's human beings that are acting out of a different level of awareness, both those doing the suppressing and controlling and those walking into the suppressing and controlling. It's all done out of fear, and fear exists in the hindbrain.